Good evening, folks. As promised, another amazing interview. Today we have Fran, and I'm gonna let Fran pronounce her last name, but I found Fran because of her beautiful door reefs. Okay, and I have a slideshow for you all to see. But Fran, would you go ahead and introduce yourself and the name of your business?
Hi, my name is Francina Canada Buchanan. I am known on YouTube and all my social medias as officially Fran, and we operate Buchanan Oasis Farmstead, which is a small farm here in Willis, Michigan.
Let's start with the reefs because you
Okay.
and I have talked on the phone. So you are by far kind of like one of my favorite interviews because, like, we could
Oh,
just kick it all day. I feel like I'm talking to my big sister, though, honestly, y'all, because this
thank
lady's
you.
level of knowledge of not just crafting, but business in general is so amazing. So let's start with the wreath business. Can you tell us the name of your wreath business?
So the wreath business itself doesn't have a name.
Okay.
I just create the wreaths. I do have a overall LLC under Canada Buchanan LLC, but I don't have a specific name because I was never trying to make wreaths a standalone business.
Okay. Okay. And you did tell me an interesting story about how you got started with reefs. How did you get started making custom reefs?
So I live in now I live in Willis, Michigan, but I was living in Van Buren Township in Walden Woods, and the neighbor around the corner had one of these beautiful wreaths on her door. So one of the days I saw her out in the yard. I stopped her, said hello, and asked her where she bought the wreath. She told me that she made them herself and she was doing a class that night. And if I wanted to come, it was like $30 and she would teach and give me the supplies. So I showed back up to her house for the class. And after that, I just took off from there and started to learn to make more by using YouTube and other people's. But this was probably close to 15 years ago.
Wow. So how do you mostly advertise your reefs?
I kind of make stuff, post it on my Facebook, and wait till somebody reaches out to me. Or sometimes, just depending on the season, if I hear somebody say something on Facebook or somebody get a new house, I might just make them one to give to them. And that always leads to other sales from other people. So it kind of just depends on the season.
I love that. And I think that you and I did talk about pricing because I told you that, well, I don't know if I told you that 3 years ago, I saw a beautiful wreath and I didn't know they were so expensive. So I told the lady to invoice me. Lady sent me an invoice for $125. I said, oh, okay. So tell us a little bit about the price of wreaths and why they're priced the way they're priced.
Those wooden ones, that wooden circle, I sell those for 125, and I sell those long welcome stands that go on the front porch also for 125. Now, when you go into one of the big box stores and you see those, they are really thin on this little like kind of thin board. That
Mhm.
is a actual half-inch piece of oak wood, and then that other one is actually a 1 by 8 actual wood. So mines are a lot heavier. They're going to last you a lot longer. It's not, flimsy. It's not cardboard. That is actual wood. And then it's just the time that it takes. Each one of those ribbons is a ribbon that I had to buy, and each flower, and it's a lot of painting and stuff involved to make it really a nice product.
With me being a business owner, I totally understand what you're saying. And one of the things that I used to pray, and you tell me if you ever prayed this prayer, God send me customers who got it.
Yeah, yeah,
Just if you can't afford it, just say that.
yeah, yeah. I have a set group of people who have basically purchased from me throughout the years. And it's not a problem because it's not the only thing that I do. I would get bored with this too quick. When the customers dip down, now there are so many people making wreaths. And believe me, I thought that mines look nice. There's some bad sisters out there. They making wreaths and selling them for $275. And I want to buy theirs. That's it. And you know what? My price is my price. Every now and then I make some, and if I don't sell them, I may reduce it. I know how much all of my supplies are, and that's the thing. It's so more so of when I first started, I was using dollar stores. A lot of dollar store items. But as I started to get them nicer, the things that they had at the dollar store just didn't give me the quality that a person would want if I am charging them a certain amount of dollars. That lion's wreath, the ribbon alone, one roll of ribbon is $14. Then I had to find the footballs and all of those little pieces that you put together. Over time, you build up an inventory that makes it a little easier.
How much is the lion's wreath?
I sold those for $75.
Oh, people, listen up,
Yeah.
people. And if you want to go up by 25, but okay, dear people, make sure y'all head over to her page. I'm going to leave all of her links in the description.
Thank
She
you.
sells some of her Detroit Lions door wreaths for $75. Tell
Mhm.
me this, with Joann's Fabric going out of business, was you able to get a lot of stuff from there?
No, and I wasn't ready, and I just don't have the funds to go out because believe me, $1,000 I would clean up in there. But the last time I looked, Joann's was only at about 20%. I'm out of business and I can't return it. I need to be 60%.
Yeah.
Because they were already a little bit higher. I only shot for a minimum. More so at Joann's, I got my florals, and I would
Mhm.
get my mesh on clearance. So Joann's was a little, it was a little tricky shopping in there. But until they get to 60%, they won't see me anyway. And by that time, it may not be anything left. So who knows?
So in our phone conversation, we talked about women, not just Black women, but women in general who are multi-talented. So not only do you make wreaths, you do a series of other things. But before we get into some of the series of other things that you do, let's talk about why people are forcing us to niche down. Like, what is that?
I don't know. When I first started making YouTube videos and I was like going through the tutorials on videos, everybody kept saying, pick a niche and, make your videos about that. I don't think that I am a professional in one thing. Maybe if I was a nurse or if I was a cosmetologist or a nail artist, it would be different. But I'm not. I am, I'm 50. I think I'm 51. I'm 51. My birthday coming. I'm 51 years old with 4 kids and a husband. I have lived life. So I have done things all through my life. I don't just have one. And I felt that I wanted to share all of the different things because I never know what somebody would not know that I've already done. And at the same time, I kind of resolved myself to the point that my YouTube channel, yes, I want to be monetized badly because I want that to be a job, but it's also my journal for myself and for my family. God forbid in 20 or 30 years when I'm not here, my grandkids will be able to go back and look at a video on YouTube and see me. And that is what my YouTube channel was for, is sharing my whole journey.
I am going to link your YouTube channel, your Facebook, and
Okay.
any other way that our viewers can find you in the description.
Thank you.
I'm going to link that. We do have a guest saying hello to the host and the guest.
Hi. Who's that?
Hello, hello.
WTMC.
Yes, hello. I'd be so grateful to get comments. Oh, she
Thank
said
you.
she love reefs.
And I think I might have 1 or 2 videos where I did a little reef tutorial. Just out of the blue, was like, okay, let's go live. Let me show y'all how to do this. And again, once we get further into talking about the farm itself, then I can talk to you about me teaching. And that's the kind of thing that you can come to the farm and learn.
Perfect. So now this is a good time to pivot into that conversation about the farm. So now y'all know I introduced this young lady saying that she owns a reef business, but like we talked about, we as women are multi-talented and we don't like to be put in boxes. So if you can have the floor and tell us about your farm, and wait a minute, what made you buy the farm? You got to start there.
Okay. So what any pictures on YouTube? Yes. WTMC. My YouTube channel is called Officially Fran. How did we end up with a farm? That is kind of the hardest story. So we lived in the city of Detroit up until maybe 15 years ago ish.
Mhm.
Even when we lived in the city of Detroit, our last house, of course, we had the vacant lot next to us. We had 2 vacant lots that we took care of. And anybody with a vacant lot that they take care of, you love it. Whenever you having something, you got all that room to spread out in your yard. And so that's what we did. We came out here to Van Buren just looking for a change. The kids were still kind of young, and we just finally ready for a change. First, we moved in a subdivision with your HOA, which was cool. But I took one of my son's friends home, and he lived over in the more rural countryside, which was over in the Sumter area. I didn't even know that area was there. Once I saw that area, I was just like, oh, this is where I want to live. There was a man on the horse walking down the street. There was all kinds of stuff going on. And so all of that reminded me of my childhood of spending all of my summers in Montgomery, Alabama. That was what we did all summer until I was about 16, and I thought I was just too big to go down south. I love to go. If I can get some time to go down there for a week, that it's just the best thing, just sitting out there, So that was the kind of the feeling that we wanted. So we got a house that had 2 acres. We lived on it for, I don't know, 5, 6 years. In May, we will be at this house for 3 years, and we now have a house with 10 acres.
10 acres. What?
Yeah.
So if for all of us that's not good at math, like, okay, what is that into square?
1 acre is 43,560 square feet. That is the size of a football field, the entire football field. So 10 acres would be 10 football fields. And so the length and the width don't matter because it could be whatever 2 numbers gets you 43,560.
Oh
So
my God. I
we
just
have
put a
10
couple
acres.
pictures up.
It's just a bunch. And so that's like the forest part of one of the areas back. That's the forest part of our acres right there.
I told y'all, I'm in my Oprah bag, honey, because who sold it? Like, who was your real estate agent? Like, how did you go about the process?
My husband's cousin, Kayla Brown from Century 21 or Oberski, she was just getting her real estate license. So of course, we're gonna go and let family show us, try to be her first customer. I think we were her first or her second customer. We looked online ourselves, just like everybody else. We went on Zillow, put in our zip code, and put in what we wanted, and
Mhm.
kind of went from there. Went and saw a couple things, and then we saw this one. We were like, okay,
How many
closing.
acres was you looking for initially?
I wanted anything, first of all, over 2, because we outgrew the 2. I really wanted more like 40, 60, 20, something like that. But this 10 was fine because it came with like the perfect house.
Was you able to negotiate the price down based on any amenities or?
Nope. We didn't even try because this was what that mid part of COVID when the housing was just what it was. And so you make an offer or you lose out on it. We were confident in like the house itself and the land and just offered what they asked.
How big is your family?
Me and my husband, we had 4 kids. All of them are now grown, basically, because my last daughter just graduated last year. So she's 18. So technically, it's kind of like me and him, and then everybody else kind of just float here or there. So our house is not huge. Our house is about, I think it's like 1,800 square feet because the living is outdoors when you got acres.
And so before y'all got the animals, because y'all do have animals on this farm, right? Before y'all got the animals, had you and the adult children talked about them building on the land, building homes, or they like, yeah, that's too close?
No, see, so since we moved our kids from the city so young, they don't want to do nothing but get back to that city for the most
Yeah.
part. Just because you have land, you cannot just do whatever you want on it like people think. So
Oh,
you can't just buy 20 acres and build 4 houses on it. It don't work like that. You have to have a permit. There's only so many houses allowed to an acre, to a property. In order for us to build more on this, we would have to divide our acres, basically splitting them apart and then make each the acres their own new parcel. And then maybe somebody could build on it. There's
wow.
very small places in Michigan, more like um, I don't look somewhere in this part of Michigan and
Mhm.
somewhere in this part of Michigan where it's a little more, relaxed. But for the most part, you cannot just do what you want just because you own land, and not just in Michigan. That's in all states. Michigan is not a tiny home state. There are only a couple of a very few cities that allow tiny homes, and they don't even allow them the way that we see people utilizing them. And I'm
Mhm.
hoping that they change that.
Wow, that's interesting. I'm glad you educated us on that. So
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to tell us about the small business that you want to start on the land.
What we're doing is trying to build an agritourism business. And agritourism is the mixture of agricultural and tourism. So that means everything from coming over and taking pictures with our goats, feeding the goats, buying eggs, buying vegetables, coming here for classes. If you want to come here for a nature walk in our forest, maybe we'll do some paintball and some forest jazz concerts. And then we have our farm stays where you can actually come and stay on the farm like you're camping out, but more in a glamping style. So it's kind of like an all out place that we want you to be able to come for people who may not be as comfortable camping in bigger places, or you're just weary and you say, well, you might want to come and try it with us and we can kind of show you. But at the same time, I may do a wreath making weekend and have a
Mhm.
retreat, or I may have
Oh,
somebody.
retreats.
Yes, I may have somebody.
Oh.
WTMC may book to stay in my glamping, and she says, "Well, you know what? As an add-on, I want to make a wreath, or I want to make soap, or
Of
lotion, or
course.
shampoo, or candles. I can make all of those things, or T-shirts, or I can show you how to start a garden."
Where will we sleep at?
Well, what I have built is a dome, and I'm not sure if you have a picture of that. You have to go to my YouTube channel to
No,
find
I
that picture.
don't.
But I have a full dome. I wish I had
Is it
sent you the picture
heated?
of me building this dome. The last one I just did was showing me putting the furniture in. So it has a queen size bed with a memory foam mattress, with chairs, with tables, a desk, and all of that. It's a hotel room that's outside. So it's the best of both worlds. Some people love their hotels. That chair, that desk, and that TV, and that pool they got downstairs in that business center just don't do nothing for me. But staying on some land where I can get up and make myself a bonfire, walk a little bit through the woods, or just sit there and just look around with fresh air, that's the thing for me.
How can you, are there any wild animals that could come through in the middle of the night or not really?
So where
Bear.
we are in Michigan, the pretty much all there are coyotes around here somewhere. Every blue moon, I hear somebody say, "Watch your dog." For the most part, it's deers, it's turkeys. When you're in the way, the animals go away.
Yeah,
Now, if
yeah.
you're dropping food all on the ground and stuff like that, yeah, you might wake up and they might be right there. We don't live where we have bears or anything like that. So it's pretty much nothing that'll attack you.
When I go down on your YouTube page, when I do look as soon as the video is over, how far do I have to go down? Like, what month do you feel like the video of the dome is?
Because I sure want people to get on that channel now. Let me
Of
tell you.
course.
Well, that was
Once
a
you get
it's
monetized.
titled "What Can You Fit in a 6 Meter Dome Floor Planning."
If
Oh,
I
and
could
that's a
pull that.
picture of my cousin that lives in. I think she live in DC. She was visiting this summer and came over to see her cousin on the farm because a lot of my family looking at me like, "No, not you. You the one that was breaking your neck to get away from this kind of stuff, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm in."
So explain to us how often you get to see your family now that you live on a farm. Like, how long do it take you to get back to Detroit to see your cousins, your aunts, and like that?
Oh, I'm only so I'm in between Ypsilanti and Ann Arbor, like closer to Ypsi. I'm
Mhm,
only about 30-35 miles to downtown Detroit. Up until last year, I worked downtown Detroit and I've been working there for 21 years. So drive back and forth, 5 days a week. My husband still works in the city. It's
mhm.
it's the quickest ride on 94. It's just coming into the city and coming back out. No different than
Wow.
leaving the city and going over to Southfield if you're going west. It's no different than that.
So do you do this during, you go visit your family during certain holidays and stuff?
Mhm. Or we see each other just like, Sunday. I went down to my mom and my sister house. Whenever we feel like it's just get in the car. It's literally no different than going. If you live on the east side and you drove to Clinton Township or Macomb
Mhm,
Mall or something, that's the
mhm.
same little drive. It's nothing. So I can go down there
Wow.
at any time, and I just try to be out of the way before the 4 and 5 o'clock traffic. But other than that, I can go down there every day. It's not a big deal.
Got it, got it, got it. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to pull this up. I think I got it though. I think I got it. We're gonna pull it up because I want to talk about this
Oh.
dome. I'm super excited
WTMC, thank
for.
you for the sub. You're gonna mess around and make me make you a reef. While you doing that, I'm gonna talk about what we talked about the last time, which was the thing about not niching and all of the different things. I didn't realize when I was learning or interested in all of these different things, whether it be the soap, the candles, the body
Mhm.
butters, the reefs, the t-shirts, that I was gonna have a use for them later. I know that none of them was the main business that I wanted to be in, but I liked it and enjoyed doing it. Now that we're at this stage of getting the agritourism part together, it all now has come full circle in
Full
that
circle.
when you come to our farm to visit for a farm tour or whatever it is, when you buy a Buchanan Oasis Farmstead t-shirt, we're going to make that t-shirt because we have the supplies and we know how. So I can make my own t-shirt to give to you. You can buy our soap when you stay here to spend the night. You don't have to go to Myers and get Dove unless you want to. You know, all I can do all of my own decorations and
I love
embellishments
that.
because I've learned over the years how to do all of these things. And
I
I am a
love.
DIY builder, so I build a lot of things.
I am super excited. Before we get into the video, so for our viewers, we are getting ready to show a video of the dome that Miss Fran is has built already on her farm for families to come out and do camping events, glam squad. I mean, I feel like it's so you could do
Hmm.
so many events. Like remember those like trust building events where
Yes.
your company come out and y'all try to, build trust amongst each
Yes.
other.
If you go to our
Perfect.
website, we have that where you can book for one person, two people. If you homeschooling or if you are a person that works remotely and want to get out of your house, you can come over here and work in nature in my pretty backyard and have a bag lunch. Or
Now,
you
what
can
are
bring your
your
company.
fees round about as far as depending on what somebody want to do? So give us an example of pricing. Say
Girl.
girlfriend event. Let's start there. Girlfriends, homegirls
If you
hanging out.
were going to spend the night and stay on the property, rather in the dome, it would cost you somewhere between $75 to $135 per night.
And then as far as food, we can get in our car or we
Yes.
DoorDash? Like,
You
oh
can
no.
DoorDash, you can get pizza, you can do all of that stuff because where I live, I am 4 miles down the street to all of the restaurants. Then we have the Coney Island, and we have a McShane's, and then I am 7 miles from a main street that has Myers, Walmart, and a whole bunch of junk on it. It's just stuff everywhere. And then maybe 6 more miles from that, you can be in Canton, and you can eat whatever. You can go the other way to Ann Arbor, come back 10 miles to Ann Arbor, and now you got everything that Ann Arbor has.
Oh, okay. So we
So
got stores,
I'm right in
malls.
the middle. Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I am in love with this
Yeah.
idea, and we didn't talk this in depth on the telephone, but I am so in love with this idea. I would love to plan a glam night, maybe. I ain't gonna say weekend,
Yes.
night. And at those prices, that's very affordable. Did you say $75 a night? Okay, and then
Because
we get
if
what
you
all do we have access to?
everything depends on seasoning and depends on availability. I'm just getting started. So guess what? I have nobody here. So
No point in reference.
I'd rather you come for $75 and as opposed to come for $0. So if
And
you know,
then,
you said a
um
locking door. Yes, ma'am. That's a door. Girl, that's a door. It's everything on there.
okay, we get ready to play the video in a minute, y'all. I just got so many questions. I'm so super excited
You
because
can
I
turn
am
it down so we don't hear it and let it roll
so
in the back and you can ask
impressed.
me stuff.
Okay, good, good. We can
But
do that.
so and I'm gonna tell you that where
You
I
can
live in this
narrate it.
place called where we call a triangle. I am in Washtenaw County, Wayne County, and Monroe County, all right in a circle from me. So it's easy to get wherever you want to here. And I have
So
a whole
narrate
brochure.
this.
Just
Narrate.
like when you go to a hotel, I have that book that tells you where everything is. Where's the hospital? Just like anywhere else. And so
Okay.
in this, I was just doing a rough go on the floor plan. I drew the floor plan out, but until I could actually see it,
My gosh.
uh-huh.
Oh, we gotta play that again. So you can
It's gonna start
actually
you back
sleep
over.
outdoors while I'm sleeping.
Yeah. Well, you literally not really outdoors anymore because you in. And so I've been out here all winter still putting this together because I'm wanting to be ready for April. And yes, there is a locking door. I may put a remote thing on there. I'm not sure yet because the difference with a normal campground and this one is that this is in my yard, so I can control. So there aren't any people walking back and forth. If I don't let you into my yard, there's no one else there, and so there won't be an overrun of people. Your car will be
That's a good
parked,
date night.
and
Me
oh
and Bay
yeah,
could come.
a
Oh,
romantic.
we gonna
Oh
be
yes, this is
ooh.
everything for the romantic nine, and it's also really good for my single mothers, my single dads, my unsingle mothers and dads that want to take their kids somewhere different, but just not ready to expose to that big thing yet. And the best thing about this is you don't have to bring all the stuff that you would if you were normally going camping. You don't have to bring your tent and a bed and a sleeping bag. This is a hotel room outside. Everything that you need will be in there. You bring your clothes and you bring your food. And you know what? If you want us to, we'll figure out a way to shop for you. You don't have to do the food because Instacart and all of those people will still deliver to the house. We can arrange all of that stuff.
Like I am very taken aback. Okay, tell us more about the video.
Okay, I don't know if you want to speed up because I don't know why this. Oh, so it's YouTube, so I got to get you to watch some time. So I take my time
Yeah,
with it a little bit. But that was
yeah.
me. I was trying to get this thing in the door, but go ahead and go past me getting it in the door, and then we can
I
get to
can't
what's
be like
what's
I'm very
going on,
impressed that
huh?
you doing I'm very impressed you doing a lot of this yourself, okay?
No, I got
Like
a
I just
dolly. See, now before up until last year, I worked at the VA hospital and I worked I think about 8 years in the engineering department. So I was I worked in a carpentry shop and I was a sign maker. So I know how to build. I know how to put stuff together. I could do a little electrical, a little plumbing, but a lot of this kind of building. So I built that base and basically put the whole thing together. And I
girl,
put
I'm
it together
trying
because I wanted to see if I could do it. So it has a wood burning fireplace over there. And the other side, I have a propane heater. And I'm literally just kind of going through how things fit. Now, that's a blow up mattress because I didn't want to get my other mattress dirty. Just in there showing me what the space looks like. And so those cabinets are there for you to walk in the door. It gives you privacy from the bed, but you can put your things down and then you come around and you're supposed to go, oh, look how pretty this is. It's the shock of walking around the wall. This week, I'll be building a loft up above there with a little stairway so you can climb up and get on top of there and then just kind of sit and stargaze. Or if you want to, you
like a
can sleep
deck.
up there. Yeah. So it'll seem like a bunk bed, but we call that a loft. So I'll be building that loft. Hopefully, I'll get started on it sometime this week.
WTMC said, "Is there a bathroom?"
Yes. So I have another video, girl. Watch it on my channel where I purchased the bathroom. I'll probably set up a mini camping bathroom for this until I get the other one hooked up. But there is bathrooms. Camping bathrooms range from everything. It just depends. It's either going to be a composting toilet. We have different ways of
Cause how we
cleanly
gonna
using
wash our
bathrooms.
hands?
Oh yeah, we have pump out sinks and all of that. I'll supply drinking water, like a certain amount of drinking water, depending on how many days you're there. I have pump sinks, something for all of that.
I like that you use the word camp because therefore if you come in here, ain't nobody say camping was luxury. Camping is camping, okay?
Yeah,
So you don't have to make it luxury because camping is camping. That's weird for people to
right.
think that they getting ready to have
Yeah,
a luxury
yeah.
event.
And see, and this is glamping, so it's kind of like getting you there for those people that don't know. A lot of people will go glamping because they think they can't camp, and once they get out there and they spend some time and they realize that they can. I say if you've ever been to somebody's barbecue, family reunion, cookout, and y'all was out there till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. All you needed was 4 hours and you would have camped. That's it. You was outside.
Yo, I
That
just
was
want
it.
a bonfire. If when I picture
Hmm.
camping, I want
Hmm.
a bonfire. I want to go hiking. So for all the girlies who misappropriate camping, and they're gonna, that's irking me. That's bothering me for somebody to pretend like they thought camping was glamour. That's weird. Y'all
Yeah.
know camping is camping.
Well, you know how people are. It's that's just the nature of the beast. I try to be descriptive in in the
Yeah.
listing with pictures to let you know what you're getting yourself into, and especially since I'm just building. So I'm hoping that when I open my reservation up, it'll be to a lot of my friends and stuff that have been watching me build this, because I
Yes.
need them to come out so I can work the kinks out with them. I can check on my customer service. I can check on different things with people that I know. But at the same time, I still want them to be critical, because there's a certain level that I want you to have depending on which accommodation you stay in. This one, if you stay in this, and if I charge you, I say 135 a night now, but if it makes it up to that $150 a night,
Easy.
$200 a night mark, I want you to say, okay, I'm glad I did pay for that. Now,
Yeah.
for $30 a night, that's a whole different thing, but you're still on my property. You
Yes.
still get to have everything else that we have.
Can we go back to that black cabinet? Because what officially is that black cabinet? What is
That
that?
is a wardrobe cabinet from IKEA.
They,
That is
I mean, I'm about to curse, Fran. They don't need no. They're camping, but I know you
no,
want to make it like
no.
glamping.
That's glamping in there. But see, I was going to build a wall right there for the headboard of the bed. But then I also wanted to build that loft. So I was thinking, well, wait a minute. If I put these cabinets here, because if you stay for a couple of days, there's enough space. But if you stroll your stuff all around, you won't have the space. So if you walk
Yeah,
in and open that up, you can put your suitcase, your
yeah.
jacket, your boots, everything away,
I
and boom, you
say
have
more
room.
air mattresses, and we could bring air mattresses. We're
Oh yeah,
camping.
yeah.
If I bring my homegirls up there, I will nip that
Well,
in the book. I feel like the host should be the host that she
yeah.
should be. Not
Well,
y'all, because that's y'all property. But
well,
whoever book it for them and they friends
oh
should be
yeah,
like, listen, either y'all
yeah.
participate or drive back home. Go
Yeah. Well,
on.
see, if you call me and you say, Fran, I want to do a retreat. I want to keep it affordable for like 4 days. I'm going to do this and this, and I'm going to ask you, what's your budget?
Yeah,
What are your hard needs, and then where are you going from there? So let's just say you're having a class and you're charging. I don't know. You could be charging 2,000 for the weekend or whatever, and you're charging each person $50 to come with you. That's here or there. The question is, what do you need from me, because that's what I'm going to set up for you. If your people aren't staying in this, I'm not setting that up. I have tents, or you all can bring your tents and just be on my land. And the thing is, once you're on my land, you get to take part in everything else on that land. You can go feed my chickens. You can go
yep,
play in my garden. You can even go to my garden and get your lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers to
love it.
make your salad. And you don't have to go to the store and buy that. So
I
it's just,
love it.
it's just like you said, you can stay there for team building, game night, wine and Bridgerton, whatever. Who
From
cares?
a person that when I spend money with a entrepreneur, whether it be black, let's just say a small business,
Mhm.
I feel like their product already sold itself. Let me let you know right now, Fran, your land sells itself.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful piece of land and it sells itself. That dome is selling me. The only thing I would ask from you once you show me the property, show me this video, is how can you help me come up with some team building exercises? Like can you help me with an agenda?
And my main
Um,
thing is getting you out into nature. Once you get in my forest, there is all kinds of herbs and medicinal herbs back there. So if you're the kind of person and you're looking for yarrow, or you like to make tinctures and all that good stuff, we're trying to set up an area even back there in the forest where you can do your own, creating of things. So if you spend the weekend and you want to make your own, herbal medicines back there, knock yourself out. We'll give you the supplies you need and you go for it.
I love this. I love this, and I want to say it again. Your product or service sells itself.
I want to do something where, hopefully I can get some investors to get in there, but I want to do something where I have a very small boutique glamping ground with an event space so that it can be just events, family reunions, weddings, repasses, something different to where you just get outside. I don't know. It's like I said, it's not for everybody, but the peace that I get from just being outside, even if it's sitting in front of that bonfire, just doing nothing. And
Yes.
sometimes we have to just sit still and do nothing.
Oh, girl, it's so like a breath of fresh air to hear you talk about this farm. And my wheels are turning in my head to see if I could do about the first event or whatever, do something soon in the month of June on your property and get me and my
Okay.
homegirls
We,
up there.
we can talk about it and arrange it.
Is your email linked to your YouTube, like in the top where it say email,
Yes. So in my YouTube, what do you call it? My
the bio?
description,
Yeah.
it has my email, all of my social medias, it has my Etsy shop, everything is in there for you to find. But in case anybody is looking for it, my email is fran@officiallyfran.com. I would tell anybody, if you can, buy land, because they don't make any more of it. And so having that piece of land, maybe if you don't want it, you can buy it for your kids. Maybe there is that area where you can buy enough and you can split your 20 acres into 6 different parcels, and all of your family can live in what we call a family compound. That's pretty much all your family live together on their own, piece of land. You're
Yeah.
together, but you're separate. To have a place for everybody to get back together again. That's what it needs.
Tell me this, as far as the decision to buy land, whether it was the 2 acres or the acres that you have now, what kind of conversation was that like between you and your husband? Who came up with the idea?
You know, it really, it probably was me, because I'm always coming up with these harebrained schemes. Um, it was more so of a thing of, like I said, when I took my son's friend home and saw the area, I
Mhm.
just thought, oh, look at this. They riding down the street on a horse, and there's a peacock, and just that kind of stuff. It just looked calm and
So you
peaceful.
introduced it to your husband,
Yeah, so it's more
basically.
like, babe, let's go ride down this street. Let me show you this, house. But at the same time, even with the 2 acres, we were used to having big property because of always having that 2 vacant lots. And we lived on the boulevard. So the boulevard, when there's a vacant lot, it's a lot of room. So
Mhm.
we're used to having that room to stretch out, and just do what we want on. I'm just different. I think I've always been different. I had my time of partying. I love to be in the city. I love them clubs. You couldn't tell me nothing about a C note in the Rados. But now, girl,
Are
that
you from
music
the
too.
east side?
Girl, yeah. If you tell me something about that loud music, and now it's just not me. But I would love to have 20 or 30 friends in my backyard, and we're together eating and partying, because I know that I'm with safe, like-minded people, and I'm not just out with anybody. But yeah, I'm from the east side, Harper and Commerce.
You probably know my family. My whole family from the east side, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
So I just appreciate you for coming on my channel. I'm going to divert all of the traffic over to your officially Fran YouTube channel. And I just thank you. Is there anything else you want the audience to know? Cool. All right. I'm going to link all of your stuff in the description of this video. I'm going to follow you, and want to spend some time on your property. All
Yes.
right.
Look, I did have something else. Everybody else, don't forget to go and follow me on just about every social media, but YouTube, I am officially Fran. Look me up, watch me build whatever it is that I'm building to go along with our agritourism at Buchanan Oasis Farmstead. Like,
All right.
subscribe, notification bell. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your time, and thank you for the interview.
Thank you.